Hi, I'm Gandalf Clark.
I'm Ellen Clark.
And we're the Clarks. Hey guys.
Hey guys. So we have something a little different for you all today. Last night we watched the Republican debate, the first Republican debate.
Sorry, just a little nauseous thinking about it.
Yeah, there's a few reasons why we watched the debate. Number one, entertainment. You know, we did play a drinking game every time it went to the moderator. We took a drink and then
of water.
We don't
drink alcohol very often.
We only for special occasions, really.
Yeah, we don't.
Or we're from Maryland, so if we have crabs, we have to have beer with our crabs. That's just a rule. And if we're not drinking alcohol at the time for medical reasons, we have non-alcoholic beer. So for entertainment reasons, but also some of these people are politicians already that work for us, and I wanted to hear how they how they vote, what are their beliefs, and it's unfortunate, but this race is going to be crazy. One of these people could end up being our president, believe it or not. We don't know what's going to happen.
It could happen. I mean, the last thing we need is Trump. He's a piece of shit, but everyone else, I mean,
he could go to jail.
He could go to jail.
Today is the day.
He could make it so that they could make it so they can enforce, what is it, the 14th Amendment?
14th Amendment.
14th Amendment, which means he cannot hold office because of the insurrection, which would be fine. I mean, I would love it if he would get sent to prison for life, but at the very least, it'd be great if they just made it so he can't hold office again, because we don't need that kind of shit in office again.
Right. The other thing is, when we talk to our friends and family who are conservative, we need to have our talking points. We need to say who we like, who's the least, and we need to have those talking points. We need to be informed, because this is what we're going to be talking about at Thanksgiving, guys. We need to be ready. And we need to.
Yep.
We need to.
If Thanksgiving happens this year, because with the snow, we may not be going anywhere, and no one's going to be coming here. So
the weather forecasters are predicting in where we live, pretty much from Virginia up to Ohio. That's where my family is. We really want to go visit our family in Ohio, but they're predicting ice storms. They're predicting blizzards. So probably be stuck at home getting our South Mountain Creamery that we normally get. But we may have a friend living with us, so it could be just a nice, the three of us having a nice little quiet turkey dinner.
He may go, if it's not too bad, he may go see his parents.
He might go see his parents, who live in Maryland, but it could be just the two of us, maybe sexy Thanksgiving again. We've done that before. Or Thanksgiving, we can make turkey with our special flour butter. Going to keep it a little kosher here because we're doing TikTok and YouTube again today. So what we did today is we put the computer camera on top of the iPhone camera. So did find out
it's all coming from the same direction, so we're not having to look at two different cameras.
Yeah, the webcam that we were using, we're pretty sure that that's dead. So we're using an inferior.
Well, not dead. It's causing,
doing this weird glitchy thing.
Causing glitches in the recording, so we can't use it.
We wanted to be able to add panels that will pop up to say these really long words that we were saying, these medical words, and we thought that was what was making the video glitch when we were using the DaVinci program, and it was not that. It was actually the video camera had not recorded a good recording, so we're going to have to redo that video for you guys. But today we're going to talk about
which will technically be a take 3.
It'll be a take 4, I think.
No, it'll be take 3, because we did one and that went up for some reason, even though it showed me the time.
Yeah.
Going on, said it was recording. It only made a video of about 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And then the second one we recorded, I think that there was something wrong with that camera and it was causing a problem.
Yeah. So anyway, and yesterday I had no voice and I had a bad migraine, so we didn't get a video to you.
We also didn't get to get on the podcast we were supposed to get on, but we're going to do that next week.
Yeah, but we do have a link for the podcast that we were on last week. So we will be putting that up today, hopefully, for you guys. So we did this fun thing with the Republican debates. We did a drinking game, drinking water. Every time they put on the moderator, we drank. And every time they said Trump, we drank. We were very hydrated by the end of the thing. And every time they took a break, we went for a pee break, of course. So I do have final scores for each person. And what I did is I gave each, we gave each candidate a point every time they said something logical, something healthy, like do they know what's going on? Do they understand the politics? And we gave them a demerit each time they didn't follow the rules of the debate, because that's actually really important. We want someone who follows the law. We want someone who follows the rules, law and order. Remember, Republican is the law and order party here, guys. We also want someone who Republicans will nominate. So we did give them a point every time they said something that Republicans would like. And then we took away points. We gave them a demerit every time they said something stupid. Every time they said something that,
or it was just really rude.
It was really rude. Where they exaggerated an issue, where they skirted the question.
I don't remember the Democratic debates being like that at all. I feel like they all gave each other room to talk, and they didn't really argue that much last time.
I think politics is just becoming more and more volatile. I really do.
Especially Republican politics.
Because if you guys remember Biden versus Trump, they really kept pissing off the moderators. So this was probably one of the most volatile, but it wasn't as bad as the Biden versus Trump, I would say, but it was close. So I'm going to go through each candidate, and I'm going to talk about their points and their demerits, and then at the end, I'll give you the tally and tell you who we think won and who we think did the worst, and then we'll also tell you who we think would be a nightmare team and who we think would be the best possible team on the Republican side. Are you guys ready? Okay. So I listed these in no particular order. It's sort of just like how I remembered the names. I started writing them down in my OneNote. Okay, so the first candidate, DeSantis, because, he's one of the ones, he's the front runner in this list. He got 1 point for saying that he would add a civics test to his education plan. He wanted people in school to pass a civics test for high school. I thought that was kind of a good thing.
Yeah, but the bad thing was that he talked about how he'd gotten rid of critical race theory and is enforcing the two genders and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the stuff that's like, I know Republicans love that shit, but we as Democrats do not love that shit. We fucking hate that shit. We think that he's horrible. He is a horrible human being. He's a piece of shit. He's almost as bad as Trump.
So all of the networks all agree that DeSantis fell on his face, and we agree with them. So here are his demerits. Number 1, didn't follow debate rules. Number 2, exaggeration of the issues. He would just start talking about something, and then he would just go off on a tangent and not really answer the questions. Number 3, he said he would support Trump as the nominee. That's a demerit, I think, because, that's not a good answer.
Look, I'm just going to say this right now. 14th Amendment. Remember, 14th Amendment. These people seem to forget that there is a rule, a law that says that if you start or even contribute to an insurrection, you are not able to hold office again. Any office. Okay?
Yep.
Trump is not supposed to hold office again.
Right.
Get that through your heads, you stupid MAGA fucktards.
So then the next one is he didn't answer the question about January 6th. He skirted the question. He didn't answer the question about Ukraine war funding. He didn't answer the question about the Ukraine war Israel. He's extremely scared of the border and drugs. He didn't really He was
talking about shooting everybody dead.
Yeah, he was.
Anyone who comes over the border, they're going to shoot him dead.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you know what?
You don't go around just killing people.
We all live on the same planet, moron.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where someone lives, there are good people and bad people coming over the border. It's a spectrum of people coming over the border.
Like, okay, first of all, hubby's parents here, Ukrainian family, they came over, and my parents came over from Germany, and my other parents came over the Mexican border. You know, you guys want to shoot me because, you know, I'm part Mexican, you know.
Yep, and she's not committing any crimes.
I'm not committing crimes. My family was so scared, actually, that when my mom died, she gave me my the family taxes that they paid, proof that my grandfather helped build the C&O Railroad, because they were so scared that, like, for some reason, even though my family came over the border illegally, when they gained naturalization, that, you know, someday they would try to, like, kick me out or my family out. But that's not going to ever happen. But, you know, my mom's like, you must hold on to these records. People like DeSantis are the reason why my family is scared.
He is a piece of shit, people.
Yeah.
He is an absolute and total piece of shit.
He's power hungry. Many other candidates said this other thing. They want to eliminate the Department of Education. That's a huge problem. We do need government oversight to make sure that there are standards in education. You can't just go around deciding.
Well, you know what the Republicans want? They want people to be uneducated, so they'll vote for them, because only uneducated people vote Republican. So it's, you know, it's uneducated or extremely rich people vote Republican. That there's not a lot of intelligence there.
He talked about the critical race theory. That's a demerit. He talked about the gender.
Well, we talked about stopping critical race theory.
The gender stuff. He talked about mandatory military service. That's a demerit. Nobody wants mandatory military service. He also talked about how he was okay with the fact that he took kids away from their parents because of the gender situation. So he got 13 demerits. So his overall score was -12. So he really
real piece of shit. That guy.
Real piece of work.
Real piece of shit.
Okay, so the next guy, Doug Burgum. So his story is a little bit interesting. Earlier in the day, he was playing basketball, or the day before, he was playing basketball, and he hurt his foot. His leg, and he actually
I don't know how he was standing there the whole time.
Yeah, he stood on the stage for 2 hours.
Honestly, that should be another merit.
He doesn't get a merit for that because that's not a political thing.
I guess not. Yeah.
But he got 3 points. Number one, he said that the Constitution says that you cannot ban abortions, and I thought that was really good. He actually pulled the Constitution out of his jacket. So that was definite point right there.
Yeah, somebody who keeps the Constitution on them and actually follows it to the letter. I mean, I know that's another document that was written many years ago, like 200 years ago or something.
But that's what you're supposed to follow when you're a politician.
Come on.
I also gave him a point because he used humor and charisma in his whole small town thing. And I know that for some people that really shouldn't be a point, but when people vote, they vote for a person who is likable. Okay, so I want to give him a point for that.
It is partially a popularity contest.
Yeah, it is a popularity contest, and I thought that he gave that vibe. You know, people like that. People like a Reagan or a Kennedy or something like that. So I gave him a point for that. I gave him another point because he actually understood the Russia-China relationship. He understood what their symbiotic relationship was. So he got 3 points. He did get 4 demerits. 1, he said he would support Trump as the nominee. 2, he didn't understand the withdrawal from Afghanistan. He blamed it on Biden. He didn't understand that Trump was actually the one who ordered that, and so that Biden had to follow through with that. He also is for the gender sports ban, so he got a demerit for that. And he also wanted to get rid of the Department of Education. So 4 demerits, overall scored -1. So he's out of there, folks. He's, you know, plus he didn't really make a good impression at the debate. So I don't really think he's a candidate we really need to think on. He's not already in politics, so we're kind of done with him. Next person, Nikki Haley. I want to say I was overall pretty impressed by Nikki Haley. She got 11 points from me, believe it or not. First of all, she said that an abortion ban is not logical. which I thought was interesting, on a federal level, because people just would not vote for it. And I thought, that's a really interesting point, because you need a certain amount of votes and everything. She's thinking as a president.
She's thinking as a woman, too.
Yeah, and she is thinking as a woman, and that's really important. You want to connect with the voters. She also said that in order to control climate change, you need India and China to control what they're doing to the environment, and that's a really good point as well. She also discussed what she could accomplish in office based on what the Democrats believe. So she's also thinking about being president from that perspective. So gave her a point for that. I also gave her a point because she has charisma. She connected with me in the whole girl power situation. I felt a connection to her. So, like I said with Doug Burgum, she gets a point for that. She also said we can't win an election with Trump. I think she's right about that. Too many people are upset with Trump, not just because of January 6th, but also all the indictments, also because of the stuff he did in the middle of the night, where he appointed justices in the middle of the night, other things he did.
With the sole purpose of overturning Roe v. Wade.
Right.
I mean, that's bullshit.
She also gets a point for supporting the Ukraine war. She also gets a point for understanding the war budget, because she explained that we were spending a very small amount of our war budget on Ukraine. So that's very smart. She also held her own when it came to Vivek. When he started talking, she gave back very smart talking points, and I was very proud of her for that. She also said she also wants to help kids learn and read. This is a topic very close to my heart. When I worked at PNC Bank, the charity that we had at PNC Bank was to help preschoolers learn and grow, and also there was like a math thing that we did, and I actually worked very closely with the Boys and Girls Club there. And for a while, I didn't know if I really wanted to stay in banking, because I really wanted to just help people. I wanted my mission on earth to help people. And I really thought about leaving banking and going into social work. But then when PNC bought my bank, I was like offered this opportunity to work with the Boys and Girls Club and teach budgeting and stuff like that.
That's why you're having those dreams. You're not seeing a future. You're seeing an alternate reality.
Really?
Yeah. Think about it.
You mean the dreams about the homeless people?
Yeah, think about it.
Because I want to help people.
Right, because you almost went into social work.
Yeah.
In that reality, you must have gone into social work.
It's possible. I really do want to help with the homeless crisis. I just don't know how.
You know what they said in Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness? Dreams can be glimpses into alternate selves.
Yeah. So, like I said, that whole charity that we did at PNC really meant a lot to me. I used to read to the kids. I used to teach budgeting. I did a lot of charity work with PNC, and I really enjoyed it a lot. So, yeah, I give her a point for that. She also stands with Israel, which means a lot to me and my friends and family who are Jewish, and also the people of Israel. Also, she lives a military life, which means a lot to me because I grew up with a military life. I don't know if you guys know, but I lived in Scotland. My stepdad worked for the government. We lived over there, and also my dad was in the Navy. My grandfather was in the Army. My brother was in the Air Force. So it just means a lot to me to have someone who actually understands this. So she did get, that's 11 points that she got from me, but she did get 2 demerits. One, she said she would support Trump as the nominee, but she did say the reason why she would support Trump as the nominee is because she wanted to follow the voice of the people. And I think that's a good reason.
Those people are fucking stupid.
They are stupid, but you know what? She's saying she didn't want to take their voice away, which I think is important.
Yeah, but they're not going to be able to vote for Trump because he's not even going to be on the ballot.
Right.
So
the second demerit that she said is she said she didn't want biological boys to be in the locker room, which I can kind of understand her perspective of that, but I am against that because I know people who are trans. I know what's in their heart.
Also, I think it's episode 11 of the new Quantum Leap. I think it's 11. I'm not sure, but the one where they had a trans girl. He leaps into the father of a trans girl who's also the coach of the her basketball team and fights for her to be able to play. Because first of all, when he first leaps in there, he doesn't even realize that she's trans. He just thinks that she's his daughter, and and that's all. He doesn't even realize she's trans because she doesn't look trans. Yeah. You can't always tell people.
Yeah, and the thing is, it doesn't matter what you're born as. It matters who you are. Right. And the thing is, when you know people who are trans, you know what's in their heart and you can feel it. And what they really need to do is they just need to make separate stalls and everything for the locker rooms, because
who wants to change?
Nobody wants to change in front of other people. When I was in school, we had these separate dressing rooms where you could go in. It wasn't like a locked room or anything. It was just like a shower curtain. And it gave you that nice privacy that you need when you're in high school. You don't feel embarrassed. You can get changed without having to worry about the anxiety of changing in front of someone else. If you don't want to, you can change out with everyone else, or you can go behind the shower curtain. And that was really nice. I liked that. So anyway, Nikki Haley overall score 9. Okay, Tim Scott. I want to just say I wanted to like Tim Scott. His story about, being raised by a single mom, growing up poor, I connected with that. My mom was a single mom. I grew up poor. I lived in a trailer when I was growing up. And, he reminded me of a lot of the people that I know who have struggled and then searched for the American dream. I've searched for the American dream too. I was like, I want to connect with you, Tim Scott. He's a person of color. I was proud of him for trying, for the presidency. And I was like, yeah, I want this diversity. Come on, let's go, Tim Scott. He failed me. I was very disappointed. So Tim Scott got 1 point for this climate change. He had a very smart answer. I can't remember what it was at this time because I just wrote climate change smart answer. But he got 7 demerits. Number 1, he said he would support Trump as a nominee. 2, very confusing answers about January 6th and the Department of Justice. 3, he wants to fire IRS agents. I know y'all hate the IRS, but I'm going to tell you what. Sorry. My mother died during the pandemic, and we are still not done with her estate. We are on our 3rd accountant trying to close this estate for my mother, okay? We do not want to fire IRS agents. They're trying to get their work done. Accountants' offices have a dedicated person who just sits on the phone with the IRS trying to get in touch with them, okay? There's not enough IRS people. Okay, we do not want to lower the IRS, okay? Pre-pandemic, I still sat on the phone for days trying to get in touch with the IRS. Now it's worse. Okay, I have to pay somebody now to deal with this. I do not like this.
Well, I have a different view about the whole money situation anyway, myself. Can I just
go
talk
ahead?
For a second?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'd love to hear your view.
My view is that we need to do away with money altogether and just have it so that money isn't what we need to take care of everything. Have everybody have their basic needs met, all the roads getting repaired, a government that actually cares about people, that helps people, and money is just this thing that just gets in the way of everything. People can't follow their dreams because of money. Also, the people coming over the border, I would say something about that too. A lot of them are going to wind up working menial jobs that you don't want to do. Okay, yeah. If they're not here, the fruit will spoil. McDonald's will be shorthanded. Okay. You don't want that. You want your fast food people to be ready. I mean, I do agree that they should definitely at least have a decent wage. Earn a decent wage, have a decent grasp of the English language, because people don't want to have to speak another language to talk to them. Yeah. But I do think that it's important to let the right people across the border.
And I love that Duolingo and other apps like that are offering language services for free.
Oh, there's that too, yeah.
So that they can learn English, so that that we're stupid Americans, we can't learn these languages. I've been trying to learn Spanish since I was in high school, and I suck at it. Now, I did use it a lot when I worked at the bank, and I'm still trying to learn it. But, I'll see people speak it on TV, and because I have hearing loss, I can only do the translation when it comes up on subtitles, unfortunately. So yeah. Where were we? Okay, so we were on Tim Scott. Okay, so he wants to fire IRS agents. He's worried about the illegal crossings, which is bullshit. Those people are not going to do anything. He doesn't understand the border wall. So Biden actually just sold the border wall for parts because it was never finished. So he doesn't understand that. He wants to continue the border wall, but sorry, honey, the border wall is getting sold for parts.
You have to start over again, and then the next Democratic president will just take it down. So what the fuck is the point?
You're not going to do that,
moron.
Honey. Next thing is he's against teacher union. Okay, so you're going to lose the teacher vote, okay? Sorry, guys. Like, so many of our friends are teachers. They're not going to vote for you if you want to get rid of the teachers unions. And then the final one is he's gender discrimination. He was, like, talking about how men are better. And that was just, making me curl up in the insides. And I was just like, sorry, honey, I'm done with you. So overall score for Tim Scott, -6. Really left me with a bad taste in my mouth. All right, next candidate, Asa Hutchinson. So he's kind of a centrist. I've known about him for a while from somebody who we used to discuss politics with, who is very like a Ron Swanson-ish type person. He actually had no demerits from me, Asa Hutchinson. So he did get 5 points. Point 1. He talked about the education with fentanyl. I am all for that. My brother my brother's a volunteer firefighter and EMT, so I know a lot about this fentanyl stuff from him, and the more we educate people about fentanyl, the better off we are. So point for Asa. Also, he said Trump should be disqualified under the 14th Amendment. Definitely. Good. Next, he understands the border and the cartels. He understands that drugs come from the cartels and not from the people crossing the border. So, point there. He also is talking about computer science being a part of the school's education. Very good. Yes, love that. Also, his final message was very positive. I like that. Gave me a really warm, fuzzy feeling inside. And I felt very uplifted, and that was very charismatic, and so he got a point for him. So 5 points for Asa. Very good job there. No demerits. I was very proud of him. Next candidate, Mike Pence. So I've been scared of Mike Pence because I know what's up here in his brain and in his Christian heart. He is not a true Christian. He just wants to control us. He's not Jesus-like at all. So he scares the crap out of me. But he did earn some points. Number 1, he kept holding DeSantis accountable for not being accountable during the debate. So when DeSantis wasn't following the rules, wasn't answering the questions, Pence was like, dude, you got to answer the questions. So I liked that. Next thing.
But he did not use the word dude. So
he didn't use the word dude. I am paraphrasing. He also would not guarantee a pardon for Trump, which I liked. He said that the people would have to decide, which is the jurors. That he said the people would have to decide if Trump was a criminal. I liked that. Good job, Pence, there. He also supports the Ukraine war. It means a lot to us because Gandalf's family comes from Ukraine. Very much. And those people, I'm attracted to them. It's my man right here. I love them. But also, I just love people. And how can you not want to support people anywhere in the world and protect them, protect their homes, and also the atrocities that are happening there? It's horrible. The other thing is he supports NATO. NATO is very important. We have to protect each other. And finally, he did say that he did negotiate with Mexico on the cartels. Very good job, Mike Pence. Good job on that. Now, let's get to the demerits. Number 1, he said abortion is a moral issue and it needs to be decided. It needs to be controlled by the government.
He said he doesn't understand that it is a medical issue, and there are women who, if they have the child, will die.
Yeah.
Okay. There are pregnancies that, if they're ectopic or if there's something else wrong with the child, do you want someone who is physically and mentally fucked up to be born? They're not going to contribute anything to the world. They're going to retread tires, okay? They're going to work. I had a stepbrother like that, and he didn't contribute to the world. He was a burden on his mother.
Yeah, retarded is not a word we should be using, but
I didn't say that.
You did.
No, I didn't. I said mentally, fucked up.
Mentally retarded.
I said mentally and physically fucked up.
Oh, okay. Well,
I did not use that word.
Okay, so what?
I know not to use that word.
So the thing about abortion and everything like that, and about other people deciding, I'll tell you a little story. My mom was in the hospital when my brother was when she was pregnant with my brother, and this was like 1982, and they asked my dad to decide, like, if who should go, my mom or my brother. And my dad's like, this is not my decision, this is my wife's decision. And I was very proud of him for saying that, because I didn't know about this until my mom actually told me this later in life. And at the time they just asked the mother, and my mom did say she chose her own life over my brother. My brother never had a problem with that. But the thing is, like, she could have more kids if she wanted to, but she couldn't bring her own life back. That's what they discussed, And I love my brother to bits, and he has passed on since this time. But the thing is, it's important to protect the life of the mother, because the fact is, I was alive. I was 4 years old at the time, and someone needed to take care of me. My dad was in the Navy, away on ships all the time. Who was going to take care of me? No one, if my mom died, So yeah, anyway, abortion, yeah, it's a moral issue, but it doesn't need to be decided by the government. Demerit 2, he said he would support Trump as the nominee. That's fucked up.
Especially since Trump's people, his followers, were chanting on January 6th, hang Mike Pence.
Yeah, that's fucked up, dude. Come on.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Why would you
have some
support someone
freaking
like that?
balls, man.
Trump blamed Pence for losing out on being the president for another 4 years. Actually, if Trump had remained in office, he would never have left. We would have had an autocracy. Okay? That is what Trump wants. Wake up, people.
Yep. So he got demerit for that. He got demerit for, he said, shutting down Department of Education. I don't know why these Republicans wanted to shut down the Department of Education. Next thing is, I do know they want to put their own agenda in schools. It's bad.
Yeah, they want to make sure people are not educated enough to vote Democrat.
Yeah. And then the final demerit is he didn't follow the debate rules. He, like other people, kept talking over the moderators, and that was not good. So yeah.
If we had been drinking alcohol and we decided to drink every time somebody talked over the moderators, we would have had alcohol poisoning.
Oh yeah, we would have
died.
We would have died. So overall score for Mike Pence, 1, which pretty much means he's not going to be the president, I don't think. Okay, so
I don't think he has the following, to be honest.
No, I don't think so either. So the next candidate is Chrischristie. I gotta say that just watching him destroy Trump is giving me pleasure. I've never been a Chrischristie fan, especially because he did support Trump at one point, but I do love his New Jersey attitude. I do love that. So he has points and demerits. Here's his points. Number 1, he said he won in a Democratic state. That is important, because the thing is, you want a Republican who is going to win in a Democratic state. So that's a point there for the Republicans, basically. He gets a point because he doesn't support Trump. He gets a point because he stood up for Mike Pence on January 6th. He said that Mike Pence did the right thing, so he gets a point there. He gets a point because he went to Ukraine for a visit and talked about what the war was like there, so he definitely gets a point for that. He also gets a point because he talked about how fentanyl was made with Chinese materials. He informed us about that, and I didn't know about that. I thought it was kind of interesting that part of the fentanyl issue is from the materials made in China. And then his 5th point, or 6th point here, is that he said that UFO information should be shared with the people, which I definitely agree with. So that's 6 points for Chrischristie. Now, demerits. First one really turned my stomach. I'm very disappointed in Chrischristie. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he attacked Vivek Ramaswamy, and he said, I remember another man who reminds me of you with a long name and inexperience, and his name was Barack Obama. And I just turned my stomach at that.
Well, here's the thing. Barack Obama actually held office for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
Not only did he get elected by the people, but he also got elected a second time by the people. So obviously he was doing something right.
Obviously. The other thing is he had Biden helping him out. 'Cause Biden's been in politics for a million years, since he was a baby. So the thing is, but the whole last name thing...
Actually, can I say something about that?
Yeah.
Okay, so being president is like any job where you have to be in charge of a certain aspect of people's lives or whatever, you know. I can compare it in a way to being a technician.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you could be a really experienced technician. You get a problem come in, you know exactly what to do immediately. Great, okay? You have experience, great. That's wonderful. I have 20 years of experience as an IT help desk. But one thing you have to know, you don't know everything. And if you need help, you need experienced people to help you. And Obama had Biden helping him the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay? And the thing with that is, like, I mean, I also use Google a lot when I Google is a great resource. I don't know if you can use Google for presidential matters, but you could. I mean, you could look up what other presidents in the past have done, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing is, you have to have a resource that knows how to solve the problems. Otherwise, you're going to go round and round in circles trying to solve the problem, and you're not going to get it done.
You got your team of experts.
I mean, you might be able to figure it out on your own, but team of experts, exactly. Yeah. You need that. And I always appreciated the older techs or the other techs that I worked with that knew more than I did and was able to train me on those things.
Exactly. So, yeah, I didn't appreciate that whole last name jab. My maiden name is super long and it's German, and I really don't appreciate people saying that. It's just really upsetting. So then the next thing that he said that he gets a demerit for is he wants immigrants to wait their turn. You know, I didn't really like that. The next thing he said is he wants to get rid of teachers' unions. So once again, he's not going to get the teacher vote, and that's a really important vote.
A lot of these people aren't going to get the teacher vote.
Yeah. So overall score for chrischristie is a 3. Okay, so last but definitely least is Vivek Ramaswamy. And so he gets 1 point for doing, he wants to do a civics test, same as DeSantis. He wants to do a civics test for people in high school. I have no problem with the civics test. I think it's a great idea. But then he gets 13 demerits. Let's go over these. 1, climate change denial. He doesn't think climate change exists. Hello, have you watched any news this year or in your life? Number 2, he doesn't want to hold cops liable. He wants cops to be able to do whatever they want.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Number 3, pushing religion in government. Ew. Gross. Number 4,
pushing religion in general is gross. So if you have a religion that you want to push on somebody, just jump off a fucking cliff.
He's afraid of border crime.
That person would be better off without you.
Number 5, doesn't follow debate rules. I should have given him a couple demerits for that because he was the worst. Would support Trump as nominee. 7, would pardon Trump. He's the only one who said he would pardon Trump. 7, does not support the war in Ukraine. Does not understand politics. He does not understand politics at all. This is a really major red flag. You do not want someone who does not understand politics. It's one thing to not have the experience, but you need to understand how it works. Okay. He wants to take away the Department of Education. He wants to get rid of all unions, not just the teacher union, but all of the unions. Come on, not you can take away the union vote? Come on, guys. He's also against single moms. How many single moms out there? Come on. And he also wants a voting test where it will raise the voting age to 35 years old. Okay, so his overall score is a -12. All right, guys, are we ready to see who the biggest losers are? Okay, so you may have guessed already from when I read out the points. There's a tie. DeSantis and Ramaswamy.
For the worst human beings in politics besides Trump.
DeSantis and Ramaswamy tied for -12. Worst people. Ticket ever. Do not put those two together. That would be a scary, scary, scary nightmare. I thought I was just scared of DeSantis, but now I'm scared of this Vivek guy too. Third place is the Scott Burgum guy with -6. Then we got, or no.
Scott Burgum.
Tim Scott. Sorry, Tim Scott. Tim Scott was a -6. Then we got the Burgum guy. His name is Doug Burgum. Doug Burgum got -1. Pence got 1 point. 1 single point. Chrischristie gets 3 points. Asa Hutchinson 5. And Nikki Haley 9. I think Nikki Haley won this debate. And
she spoke very eloquently. She's very intelligent. I mean, there's a few issues, but that's all Republicans.
Yeah.
But honestly, she's the best. If you're a Republican and you're watching this and you're thinking about voting for somebody in the primaries who is not Nikki Haley, don't. Okay? Yeah. Nobody else has your best interests at heart. Nikki Haley actually does.
Now, if I were to pick a good ticket here, I don't think Asa Hutchinson, even though he had no demerits, I don't think the people are really connecting with him, unfortunately. I just don't. I think a good ticket for the Republican Party would be Chrischristie and Nikki Haley. I think that those two could probably,
Haley should be the one in charge.
Yeah, but I actually don't think that Republicans would vote for a woman as the first primary person.
Probably not, because they're all sexist. So,
but it would probably be a Christie-Haley ticket. So Christie should be on top, and then Haley on the bottom, maybe.
That's sexist.
It is sexist. It is sexist, but we're talking about Republicans here. We're talking about Republicans.
The whole thing is disgusting, honestly.
It is disgusting.
Honestly, Republicans disgust me. I'm just being absolutely honest. They want to do away with social programs that help everybody. I mean, we are on a couple of those social programs right now ourselves because I'm not working a job and we don't have any income coming in at this moment. But the thing is, people need those things to get by because of the whole thing with money. Because you have to have money to live, which is fucking stupid.
We're trying to grow our business so that it can support us.
Not just us, but the people who
the people who work.
The people who have been working for years. Helping our business with sweat equity.
We're all creating projects together so that we can make money, so that we can support ourselves. During the pandemic, we decided to try to push for profit because before we did this business, we decided, when we started this business 6 years ago, it was a hobby company. We were like, let's get together with our friends once a month and work on things constructively. And then when the pandemic hit, we were like, we should probably try to make some money. So we did start doing that. We did start going towards, working on projects that we own and things like that. But yeah, so basically this Republicans, the most benign group would probably be Haley Christie ticket. There is another party out there that I learned about recently, the no labels ticket. I saw a video with former Governor Larry Hogan was talking about this, and they were talking about how it would be an interesting thing to have like a Republican and a Democrat together. And the idea, the concept of it is kind of appealing, but they were talking about having Joe Manchin as the Democrat. Joe Manchin is no Democrat. He's registered as a Democrat, but he is like a dino. Yeah, he's like all for coal and all that. Now, Larry Hogan was a great Republican for us here in Maryland. He set up a commission for cannabis, even though he himself wasn't for cannabis. He had cancer and he still didn't use cannabis. He did
kind of dumb, but...
Yeah, it was kind of dumb, but he didn't deny us the cannabis. We were still able to. He set up that commission. He passed legislation for us. He didn't deny us anything, which was really important. He was a good governor for us. He did do a lot of Republican things, but during the pandemic, he went and got vaccines for us. He went and got tests for us. Because his wife is Korean and he had some connections, and he did defy Trump, and I was very proud of him for that. He did get a lot of flack because some of the things he procured didn't work, but he didn't know that those things wouldn't work. it's not his fault. You know what I mean? He did the best he could.
Points for effort.
Yeah, points for effort. So I wouldn't.
And intention.
I wouldn't mind seeing a ticket with Larry Hogan, but you'd have to pick a different Democrat than Joe Manchin, because Joe Manchin is no Democrat. So, but we could have, one of these Republicans that is not so bad.
Like Haley.
Like Nikki Haley, Chris Christie, Asa Hutchinson. Pair them with, a Democrat, that's not Joe Manchin, on the no labels ticket. That would be fine. So let's be open. Let's actually have civil discussion this Thanksgiving, because we know that's when the big debates are going to happen. Let's try to heal the shard in our hearts, call out to my poetry book, Shard in the Heart. And let's try to get along with each other. Let's try to love each other. Let's try to love our family and friends and not let politics get in the way. Okay? Let 2024 begin the time where we do not go into civil war, where our economics get better, where we all start to heal. Anything else you want to say, babe?
I think you covered it.
All right. Long video today, guys. Take care.